What's up, guys? Welcome back. Glad you're here. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at a deck that is a newer release by anyone worldwide. It was also only available by pre-order for a very limited time as well, and it was a collaboration with Dan and Dave from Art of Play. Which deck? Well, there's only one, and that is the new and improved Smoke and Mirrors deck by Dan and Dave and anyone worldwide. That's right, so buckle in your seatbelts, because we're going there. Let's go! The Dan and Dave Smoke and Mirrors Anyone Worldwide collab deck was announced and put up for pre-order for only 24 hours on Black Friday, November 23rd of 2018. Like I said, it was only available for 24 hours via pre-order and would never be sold or printed ever again. That's right, so your only way to get it was then. The front of the tuck case is all matte, wrapped in this very nice black, and it has a white border around the front side of the tuck, and it has the two famous D's for Dan and Dave in white. And this looks pretty close to what the card is, which we'll get into momentarily. The left side of the tuck says Dan and Dave in a bold white font. The right side says Anyone. The bottom of the tuck features ad copy by Anyone and Dan and Dave, Smoke and Mirrors made in the USA, and has the website underneath. The back of the tuck is pretty much plain, just that same matte black, except you do have almost some more ad copy in a sense about the trademarks and logos of Dan and Dave as well as anyone worldwide. And the same goes for the top, which also ironically blends in with the inner tuck flap. The continued font, which we've seen on the back, that goes into the tuck flap, which also, by the way, has no tuck seal, so it's nice and clean and fast and ready to get to, says Smoke and Mirrors originally released in 2007. Anyone RePrint 2018 Mirror. The back design on this deck is pretty minimalistic and straightforward, while keeping the originality of the previous decks in order and still paying homage as well. They went with an all-black background and a really nice medium white poker border to wrap around that, and the two bright white D's that we see in the middle. Alright, so just like the previous decks of the Smoke and Mirrors originals by Dan and Dave, this deck was printed by the United States Playing Card Company on their thin crushed premium stock. That's right, this is a Q1 deck. It is traditionally cut and also has an air cushion emboss. Alright, so with this deck, you're going to receive 4 extra cards. That's right, 4 extra cards. The first one is a double-faced card. The one way is going to say Anyone for Anyone Worldwide, and the other side is going to say Dan and Dave. That's right, because like I said earlier, this is a collaboration between the two, and what a powerhouse it is. The second card you're going to receive is going to say Daniel above in red font and David underneath. It's going to have a photo of what looks to be Dan and Dave throwing javelins. If I'm not mistaken, they used to be, javelin throwers in their high school days and whatnot. And if you look fairly close to their chest on their school uniforms there, it does say their logo for the D and the D. That's right. And the last 2 cards you're going to receive are 2 duplicate and original Jokers. That's right. Anyone Worldwide did it the right way this time. They finally made a deck that appeals to both cardists and magicians. And the jokers are going to say Joker in each of the 2 corners. And it's going to say the same thing that we saw on the back side. It's going to say Smoke and Mirrors, originally released in 2007. Anyone reprint 2018 Mirror. So, as far as the pips and indices within this deck, at least for the face cards mainly, you're going to see standard pips and indices until we get to the courts, which we'll speak about those here now. Alright, like I said, the deck as far as the courts would be a different story once we got to the pips and indices here. That's right, it wouldn't be an anyone worldwide deck either if there wasn't some flair added to this deck. That's right. This deck, like I said earlier, is aimed at mainly magicians, but cardists as well. So as you can see, they did choose to pretty much go with your standard courts as well. Except, like I said, one thing is, all of the courts, as you can see, all the way down the middle, it does say anyone throughout each and every court to give it that special kind of look. Alright, so as far as the aces are concerned, they're pretty much also your standard industry aces until we get, of course, to the awesome Ace of Spades. That's right, you're going to have this very chunky spade pip there in all black in the middle. It's going to say Mirror in white through that. On the left, on the bottom side, it's going to say 2007 and 2018. And then on the right, it's going to say 6006, which we see on almost all of the Anyone Worldwide decks. So there's a significance between all of those numbers between the 2 companies. And below that, on the bottom left corner side, is going to say D&D for Dan and Dave, Anyone's logo as well, and some more ad copy. All right, so what do I give this deck? I give it a 5 out of 5. I gotta be honest, when this deck first went on pre-order, I was very, very pumped about it. Very pumped. And until I went and got it into the shopping cart to order and noticed that it was $28. Now, there's 2 different parts in the story that are very crazy. So I kind of contradict my own kind of moves, right? So $28, it's $18 for the deck, $10 for shipping. Outrageous, right? I mean, you're talking a deck of butterflies, you're talking 3 decks of red roses for 1 deck, right? Pre-order, I get it. I was so just upset because I couldn't let myself do it. It was a bad time financially, just couldn't do it, right? Decided, you know what, I'm not doing this. I know for a fact where it's coming out of shipping wise. It don't cost $10 for shipping, so they're making at least $3 to $4 off me for shipping, and the deck markup on this is crazy. But whatever, right? This is normal from Anyone Worldwide. If you know anyone, you know how they are, right? And I'm not saying anything bad about them in that sense, but let's be honest here, right? So I passed on it. Just recently, they started doing the fulfillments. The pre-orders are done after a couple months. This was back in November, I believe it was, end of November-ish. I think it was like November 22nd. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. It was in that area. Like I said, just a couple weeks ago, they started fulfilling. I seen them and I said, man, I need this deck. I need it. So I ended up going on eBay and spending about $36. So not bad. Like $7 or $8 more than I was originally gonna pay, but you know what? Well worth it. This deck kicks ass, hands down. I wish I had a brick. That's all I can say. Wish I had a brick. These things are amazing. I got the new DS1 carrot case around it because I don't want nothing happening to this deck. And yeah, just hands down. So if you get a chance to get your hands on them, or if you did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This deck is phenomenal. So yeah. So like I said, if you get a chance to get your hands on them, do not pass up the situation unless they're crazy, 50, 40, 60, $70, then it's not worth it. So, but other than that, if it's in a $30 range, get these, don't even think twice. And yeah, so you won't regret it. So yeah, so that's all I can say about this deck. If you enjoyed this review as much as I enjoyed doing it for you, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you beautiful people on the next one.